Alright, so when I was driving to work today, I heard this on the radio. Vancouver Council approves next step in 2030 Indigenous-led Olympic bid. And when I got back to the house, I just had to Google it to see if it was true. And lo and behold, it is. So this council committee voted 8 to 2 in favor of allowing Indigenous-led bid for 2030 Olympic Games and Paralympic Games. I'm not even going to try to pronounce the native groups because I'm going to get it wrong. So, Canadian Olympic and Paralympic committees, the Indigenous and delegation told the Standing Council that backing their efforts to bring the Games back to BC was a chance to act on government commitments to reconciliation. Okay. Before Wednesday's vote, again, I'm not going to say the names because I'm probably just going to get it wrong. Get in the canoe with us. Oh, crap. As the potential host looked to secure funding for the provincial and federal government. So again, get in the canoe with us. So in other words, the provincial and federal government's going to do all the paddling. But wait, the federal government and the provincial government doesn't have any money, so it's going to be the taxpayer doing all the paddling. So the Vancouver mayor said it either moves ahead or it doesn't, but I'm feeling very good that we will be going to the next step. Yeah, of course, because everybody's crying a river for the Indians. And that circles back to the reconciliation stuff. They're tugging on the emotional heartstrings of people. So this picture here, it shows him beating a drum, trying to sell his indigenous angle, because again, bleeding hearts and all that. Here they're talking about the various nations, Indian nations, legal multi-party agreements, and who's gonna cover the costs, blah blah blah. As a side note, the thing with the whole chieftains, Indians weren't the only people to have chieftains. Chieftains are just political leaders. And what I mean by that, the Scottish Highlanders, they had chieftains. Instead of tribes, they were called clans. And they lasted until they allied with the wrong English monarch and they got dead. The Irish had clans and chieftains, and they faded away. The Gauls, before it was France, they had clans, they had chieftains. What did they do? They fought each other, they traded with others, they traded with the Romans, they worked with the Romans, they fought the Romans, etc. So when I look at the Indians, Native Americans, whatever, they're a whole whack of tribes. Sometimes they work with each other, sometimes they trade with each other. They remind me exactly of the Celts, or the Gauls, I should say. In other words, they're taking something that's so-called sacred and using it as a cudgel. Now back to costs. So it says it could cost anywhere from $3 to $4 billion. Now, right underneath it, the last one in 2010 cost as much as $8 billion. But the Auditor General never conducted a final report. Funny that. And yes, they're talking about using the old 2010 Olympic stadium and all that equipment and such. So my question would be, would they have to upgrade the old villages and such, or repair them so that they're up to snuff? Because 2010, that was 12 years ago, right? It's 2020. Oh, wait. No, it's 2030, so it would be 20 years dilapidated. So yeah, my question is, would it cost more to renovate all that stuff? Or would it cost less? I don't know. But judging the government, it's probably going to wind up costing more. Why? Because I've noticed when you have a project with numerous groups, that's a lot of money and it's probably going to go into a lot of pockets. Insert quick disclaimer, that's my opinion. I've noticed that throughout my life. Corruption is everywhere. Oh, and one final note. They say that one of the reasons they want to use the old athletes' village and etc. is to cut back on the CO2, help the environment by reusing, etc. I just thought I'd put that in there to be fair. Alright, that's it for my little ramble. Take care.